Hello, this is Vicki LaRoe. I am doing a very fun video here looking at some gorgeous jewelry. I am launching a winter clearance sale here soon, and as part of it, I am doing something I have not offered in a very long time, and that is finished sample pieces that I'm so excited to include. In fact, it's been like 5 years since I've done a sample sale, and boy, these are some gorgeous, fantastic pieces, and so I'm excited to offer them for sale. And the majority of these are fairly recent, like in the last year or two. Some are a bit longer. Some even go back to the Bead Factory, but they were all previous classes, kits available. And if I can no longer find the main material that's needed or the quality of that material anymore, and I can't possibly make the kit going forward, then I will put it on a clearance like this, because there's no reason why other people shouldn't enjoy all this, beautiful jewelry. I often will keep my favorites for a very long time, and then eventually I normally can get willing to let go of them. We'll see. But I'm excited to share this as a gorgeous collection. These kits were roughly anywhere between like $50 and $95. They're very, very, very intensive statement pieces. And so on sale, they are about 25 to 30% less than the kit price. So it's not only already made for you, and very well, by the way, but it's cheaper. But it's on sale. So the other thing is that I went through all of them after I selected the pieces. I went through them, and anything that needed maybe a new clasp or an extension chain, because if these are the samples I'm making like on camera or just to keep, I don't always add an extension chain to it, or I don't always make it as long as the kit is, because I'm kind of shorter. I added extra length to all the bracelets because I have a pretty small wrist, believe it or not. So that kind of thing. I wanted people to be able to adjust sizes for the most part, if they can, if they want to. If there was anything that needed a little tweaking, I changed that. Like for example, this little goddess pendant piece here. I have the silver one and the gold one, but and it's much longer, right? A lot of these are much longer than they look. They're just I only have so many stands, and so as I show them to you, you'll see that. Also in the descriptions, when they're live on the website, it will, for the most part, only say like there'll be a picture, but then the name of the piece, the length or size, and the price. And so this video gives me a chance to kind of say a little bit more about them and show them off. And I'm not sure if I'll ever make this video like public on YouTube. For right now, it's privated for members, but if I do, then it's just to look at pretty jewelry, But anyway, so here's the little goddess piece. It's much longer than that. It's about 30 inches. And only recently, like in the last year, did I start keeping everything Ziploc, protected from air. You would think, being in the business 3 decades, that I would have been better about this. But I used to either keep them in the store, or when I started doing videos, I started hanging them on, like behind me on a stand. But then some pieces started to tarnish, and so I took those down, and now I keep everything firmly, protected from air. So some little pieces that have tarnished, I swapped out. Is my whole point, is that I swapped out, replaced anything I needed to. The flip side of that is I'm pleasantly thrilled with how well actually the metals have held up, especially the golds and things. It's just, again, a testament to the quality of materials that we use here, to how nicely they've held up. However, this sample was one that I kept out for a while, and so the pendant was a little tarnished. I wouldn't feel good sending that out like that as a piece. So I'm just redoing it. I'm not done with it yet, but I'll redo the pendant and replace it before it sends out. So that's just like an example. I just have to finish her up. But so anything like that, I've finished everything else that needed any little, again, tweaking or additional whatever, brouhaha. So let's go through them. I don't know how long this video will be, but I just want a chance to go through and show them because they were very expensive, kits. They're still a good, value for everything that's included in, in the class, but they're pricier. And so even on sale, I want, to be people to, see what they're buying and know what they're buying. So let's just go through them as quickly as we can. I love these little lariats piece with the rhinestones on top. I have, a couple of them here. I haven't had those little tassels in quite a while. It's fairly long. It's about 30 inches. But this one's in the, black and silver. She's a lovely piece. I miss having those tassels. But there's that one, and then there's another one in gunmetal, like an ivory and a champagne story, which is really, really pretty. Really tricky to show, on the black, but it's a beautiful color story. And so same length, gorgeous piece. So there's, two of those. I love that one a lot. And then there's also a handful of earrings, obviously, that we'll go through those too, and a few bracelets, including some gorgeous statement bracelets as well. This piece, I love her. This has not been a recent sample. This is from the shop, and I just love it. It's a pretty intense little piece. It's not quite as short as that looks. I added length and a extension chain on there too, but it does meant to lay along the collarbone, and it's just gorgeous. It's really heavy antique silver chain and brass, and then these beautiful big shell pearls along here. It's a gorgeous piece. I love her. Some of these that are older, I hung on to them thinking or hoping, planning to, one day do another kit with them. But, if it didn't happen, it didn't happen. And so now someone can enjoy that beautiful piece. Let's see. Let's go. Sorry, I'm trying to make enough room to get around here. This beautiful triple tassel necklace. Right? She's gorgeous. This is in, beautiful mix of the grays and silvers. It's about 24 inches. There's an extension, chain and hook clasp on the back. This was just a beautiful piece. It uses a lot of materials, right, to make her. But there's that one in the grays and blacks, and then the other color story I have is in the sherbet kind of color. And this is where, like, color looks different on everyone's monitor and camera and what have you. And so that's why I always want to make sure that I am sharing the color in case it looks just different to you. This is a very, very, very light. I hesitate to even use the word, it may look peach to you. These may look like more orange to you, but they are not. This is such a light sherbet color, even lighter. And it's more pinky than, it's like a pinky peach. But in these opals, it's so soft and beautiful. And these pearls are more of a light copper, like rose gold satin. They're so beautiful. This color story is just one of my very, very favorites. I go back and forth on even letting it go. It's just turned out beautiful. When all the crystals just work perfectly, right? They're all different. One's opaque, one's an opal, one's transparent. It's just getting the color story to just work beautifully. I can even see through my monitor how dark these look. They're not. They're light. But it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. So if you're a pastel girl, you will love her. and it's also the same length, you know. Here is our goddess necklace in gold. Again, same with the beautiful, you know, pearls. It's quite long, about 30 inches. She's a lovely piece, you know, in the bronze. And this, you know, the gold holds up beautifully for most of the pieces, I should say. It took so long to pin all this stuff and to get it, you know, set up perfectly, and I don't want it to fall over. All right, let's see if I can get her to stay without falling off. A little. Okay. Now, we'll go into the luxe layers. So our luxe layers piece, this is also quite a bit longer. She's about 30 inches or so, because it's mainly a pendant piece with the silver and the gunmetal, and it may look more blue on your monitor. I wouldn't call it blue. It's definitely more of a opal, like a bluey, oceany water color opal, right? If I get really close, you can see how. And she's more gray. It's a kind of a gray blue into an opal, into it from a transparent to an opal to an opaque. It's ombre beautifully. The color's breathtaking. And then there's other, you know, crystals up in the body, and again back here, it's a really gorgeous piece. Again, hard for me to part with her. I went back and forth on it. I love it. You know, in the color stories I try to make them very wearable. Some things are more neutral, but when I think of neutral, I think of like beige or gray, you know. But I like using color. But if I do, I like to use colors that are, like I said, more wearable. Like even this sherbet one, again, it's very, very soft, very light. You know, I think it would look gorgeous on a lot of different, you know, pieces. Here's our luxe layers in more of what I would call a neutral, but a champagne mix. Look how beautiful that is. And this might be harder to see on the black. Oh, makes me nervous to take things off stands, because then I gotta put it back on a stand. But where's the board? But it's quite long, of course, like the other one with large, you know, champagne pieces in here. It's very, I would call it very neutral, but very, I think, very glamorous, with the mix of the champagne tones and ivory pieces, and I just think she's lovely in there. So long, same thing with 30 inches long or so. You know, a lot of these are from just last year. We did a lot of these beautiful statement necklaces for classes and kits, and they're so fun, so pretty. Okay, we'll just keep going back. This is our ombre amulet. So this would be a good example of when I'll use the term the colors are very wearable. I wouldn't call it a neutral, because there is color. But see, on a monitor, this to me looks so red here, and so like almost peachy or orange, but it's not. It's a little, but not really. There's a champagne color into more of a, I don't know, it's not even an olive. It's lighter than that. It's like a coppery, light, milky olive that's so beautiful. An ivory and a champagne, and then a dark kind of mango-y color here, right? It's so pretty. Let's see if I can, and that even makes it look brighter. It's very soft. Again, the colors are actually really much softer than they look through the monitor. But anyway, it's a very orangey, or dark orange. You should say burnt orange. And again, very sherbety color, and then a metallic olive and metallic champagne. And with these beautiful crystals down here and in the body, It's just a stunning piece. And this, this and some of the other ones I'm showing you, these are hard. A lot of these are hard. Really, they're advanced. They're advanced. I obviously know most of my regular, customers well, but being online, I have, thankfully a lot of new customers too. If they're choosing a more advanced piece and I'm not really familiar with their, skill level, I'll send them technique videos and stuff. I really want to make sure that, they don't struggle with it, because there's no fun in that. Then, right, this still has to be fun and glamorous, and, so this beauty, same thing. Here's our ombre amulet, but she is in more beautiful, again, looks very blue in the monitor, but it's more blue-gray, and then this is like a dark metallic blue, but more of that blue opal into a gray here. And so I really liked this color story last year, apparently, but it's very, again, wearable, would be stunning, and goes with a lot of different tones. Beautiful little crystals down here and in the body. This is one I added links to. This is one of my favorite ones, but I added a little link to her so that it was as long as the other ones. Let's see, we did that. Let's do, so this one is older piece that I updated, and she's gorgeous. So it has this beautiful draped chains with the drop crystals. And what I did when I was, again, going through samples, let me take this one off for a sec. I can use the white. Well, maybe you can see it here. But I love this piece. I've hung on to it for a long time. It was a class at our Lakewood store, but has not been since then. So that's like 6 years or so. But so when I was going through them, what I did is I ended up, look how pretty that is. So I just added this outside chain to her. It has crystals here, right? Just to give it a little more zhuzh. And it's that beautiful champagne, crystal story. And then we did these draped chains between the crystals with these little drop crystals. This was a hard class. These are advanced classes. And then I added the outside chain to it. This is a neutral, gorgeous piece. So once I updated her, I was like, oh, now I really love it. So I really had some issues deciding what to let go of. I'll put that back in just a sec, but let me grab that collar. This was also a class in Lakewood, very advanced. She's a beautiful, beautiful collar. I should put it on the white stand. It's a gorgeous leather collar, and the pearls, and I added length. I added like 4 inches on the back, and then another extension chain too, so people could adjust the length to her. Even these pearls are breathtakingly beautiful. These are 9mm in a bronze. The pearls alone are worth $60, $70. I mean, because I remember using very expensive pearls for this kit because they're such a part of the statement piece, right? They show up. They're such a focal of the design. It's so pretty. So it's always been one of my favorite kits. Was very advanced. I don't see being able to duplicate it for an online class. But she's just breathtaking. To me, my opinion. I hope it doesn't sound totally, vague, but, I love designing these pieces, but like I said, I also have to make sure that I feel like you'll be able to make them, even if I add a video with it, which I do with the majority of classes now online. It's not exactly the same as if I was right there and could help with any kind of issue. So, anywho, so now that sample goes away, and I take I have instructions, of course, in video for most of these things, and then the other pieces that I did not make into a class again since closing the shop, I have pretty in-depth pictures of, so that I could always make it again if I really wanted to. I think that's our necklaces. I don't even know what time it is. 20 minutes. Oh. Okay, let's do, I've got a handful of bracelets that are very cute. I have both of my little designer weave pieces, and again, these are pieces I added jump rings onto these to add length. I made sure they were good magnet clasps on all of them. There's a silver and gold in that. I have both of my Queen of Hearts, so if you're ready for Valentine's Day, this is a beautiful one in olive, and this one's in more of a silver. I just think they're really so cute, but I knew I wasn't going to do them for Valentine's class again, so these are adorable, and I love this little branch piece. They don't make it anymore, and so it's a wrap bracelet with moonstone gemstones there, and then that clasp. I love it very much. Or you can make it into something else, but it's really good looking piece on, I think. Then of our statement bracelets, right, we made these beautiful lucite floral pieces last summer. I hand dyed all the color palettes, and then made them, and hand dyed all the flowers, and then made them into a beautiful palette that we used for these bracelets. And we did a lariat as well, and I can't part with that yet. If you're not a bracelet girl, these make the center of a necklace very easily by just adding chains or cording onto the side, and then she can be in the front as a necklace. It would have to be a shorter one for this to lay nicely, but just an FYI. Or you could take it apart and make it into earrings or something, but it's a stunning piece, and I think, and used a lot of beautiful Swarovski crystals in the middle, and if you haven't made one before, it's hard to imagine how many pieces are actually involved in each of these. There's a base, there's a lucite base, a lucite flower that I dyed, a cap, another lucite flower that I dyed, and the crystal on a ball head pen. Right, so each one is stacked with about 5 different pieces and then put together. It's really beautiful. And again, I try to make really softer, what I call them wearable palettes. That one's more blue, gray. This one is more of a plum, pink, and gold. I love them. I'm a big fan of them, of course. So, and this is easy to adjust the length. I have jump rings on there, but you can, again, easily adjust it by adding either more jump rings or subbing those out for smaller ones if you really wanted to. Whoops. Now, this bracelet, this was a big decision. I love her. Very hard, very advanced. Tricky class. I just have hung on to it for a long time. I love it. I don't see being able to ever remake it as a class online. Beautiful, heavy Rolo chain. Textured Rolo. Beautiful. Gemstones alternated with Swarovski. Little disco balls inside. It was a window to my cage, window to my something, or crystal windows. I don't know, because there's a layer of the gemstone, the aquamarine, and the crystal inside, and then it's wrapped in leather. The cord has a sage leather, and then it's wrapped in this tiny, smaller chain around the whole thing. That's the back. It's a stunning piece, and it's just gorgeous. So it just seems, again, I mean, I don't know, I'll go back and forth and end up changing my mind, so let me put it out there. And then there's this one. We had a bunch of the linked chain, you know, the chain that comes already linked together on the spool that you can buy. I like to think I'm really resourceful as far as like, here's what we have left, and I'm going to make a really gorgeous design out of these materials. That's kind of what happened with this collar. Right, we had a lot of that really heavy antique silver chain and that brass chain, and so I actually think that's really fun. Anyway, we had a lot of this little linked chain, and so I made it into this lovely bracelet. And because the chain is kind of brighter turquoise and stuff, so to tone it down, I added more of an opal blue crystal in here. Right, I added several strands linked with that opal blue crystals and those big opal ends, and it's good. You know, it's, well, I don't know what size. It's pretty good size. You could wrap it, around to take up some of the length if you wanted to, if it was too large, or you could, redo the wraps to make them smaller. But when we did have this kit, another cool thing, of course, you can always do again, is to do this into a necklace if you'd rather. Take the clasp off, put chains here instead, and move the clasp to the back, and it's a perfect center for a necklace. She's a gorgeous piece. I don't even know why I've kept it so long, except that I love it, because I don't, we haven't had that chain in a while. So, but she's a beauty. And then our earrings that we have. Let's do, these are gorgeous. This has not been a kit also since the store. And the quality of these tip drill freshwater pearls is breathtaking. They're very, very high quality tip drill. And then there's French wire done up the side, up the tip drill. The wires through, the French wires on the side. Then it's twisted with these moonstones inside. It's gorgeous. And then twisted onto the satin piece with the ear wire. I think they're gorgeous. It would match that color beautifully. But, so they're a beautiful piece. And let's see, this was a class last year, the drop crystal chandeliers, so beautiful, right? This is the one in gold in a beautiful Montana blue, again, really, I think, wearable kind of blue, and this is the same color but in silver. I just think it's a really, really lovely piece. And if it hangs too long for you, just change the ear wire out to a ball ear wire, like a shorter ball ear wire. I reshaped these. Right, this is one of my favorite standard kind of satin ear wires. We use it all the time. Right, normally looks like that. But for these, I reshaped them with a dowel to make them rounder. I just thought I'd just match the design better to balance it out, and also made it a little bit shorter. But you could also just swap them out to take up some of the length, but it's a beautiful piece. Okay, and last earrings, or no, I'll show you those in a minute, but when I was talking about swapping things out, these are my original rhinestone shimmers. I love them very much. These ear wires were a little tarnished, and they don't make them any longer. They're very expensive. Again, we use really high quality plated. I mean, they're plated still, but they're very high quality pieces, right? It's still cheaper than using 14 karat gold. But as an ear wire, they were like $7 a pair. And I would still carry them. I love them. I love how they're heavier through here, like fatter as a design, and the design comes down a little bit, so it covers up the findings. I love it, but the manufacturer stopped making them. And the pair that was on here was a little tarnished, not much, but just a little bit. I mean, not that you care, but just a little bit. So I took my very last pair, the last pair in existence that I know of, and I swapped them out and put them on here. Again, because I want anything you buy to look just as perfect as it should. But it's a lovely ear wire. I love that earring very much. And speaking of, that is the same ear wire. So that's how long ago I made these from Beat Factory in gunmetal. This is never tarnished or turned or tarnished, and all. It's gorgeous. But the even more exciting thing is these little crowns are sterling, right, with the tiny CZs in them. So these sterling crowns, were like $18 a piece back then, and I love these earrings, always have. So they are just a beautiful pair, and I know it's hard to see on the black, but I have pictures of them. It's a stunning pair, and if that's too long for you, it's easy for you to cut the chain, right, to make it a little bit shorter. And then, the other earrings I have, fairly simple, kits that we've had before. Lotus, the starfish actually comes with the pendant piece, our little wings of an angel, and our Indian earring, or Indian wedding earrings. This little one with the moonstones. So anything, if there's a reason I can't make it anymore, then it's on here. And these were all actually in really good shape. I didn't have to, zhuzh anything up there. But those, and fairly inexpensive. The earring kits were, for the most part, never more than like $20. And so, on sale, they're, I don't know, between like $9 and $12 a piece. So those are pretty inexpensive. But that is our part of our winter clearance sale that is in finished jewelry samples. And I actually have quite a few more samples, so maybe we'll do another one, closer to the summer in a few months or something. But I have a few kits that I want to put out again first, and then once those kits are out, then we'll do those samples. But this is a good, like I said, for the first time in like 5 years I've made them available, and they're lovely pieces, and so I'm excited for my customers to be able to enjoy them, so they're not just sitting around in Ziploc bags, here. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, again, not 100% I'll put it up, but people tend to like to look at pretty jewelry that they can possibly make or get ideas from, inspiration from. So I'm happy to share them. And like that, it's only half hour, so not so bad. Thank you very much if you're still here enjoying them and watching it. If you are a member, you'll get the email with the link to the sale when it drops, and everything is available. There's other things on sale, components and findings and some chains and that kind of thing. But I was excited to add some finished jewelry on. So like that. And, well, all the things. It's free shipping with $50, blah, blah, blah. So I'm excited for you to have them. Thank you so much for watching. If this ends up on YouTube, to the public, and you have not liked and subscribed, please do so. And we will chat again soon. Thank you so much. Sparkle brightly like the star that you are. Peace.